Hello, good morning everyone. This is Sharon from Everything Beautiful. So today I am going to turn the bodice into a dress. So here I have it. There are steps that I took to make the changes. So this front that I did, this back, I'm sorry, that I did will now become the front, and I have extended the skirt to 36 to 26 inches in length. So let me walk you through the steps. So remember, I actually used the hip measurement was 41, and I used 42 inches just to make it freer around the hip, the bottom part of the jacket or the blouse, whichever you want to call it. I now took that 1 inch off and put it back at 41, because when you have on a fitted dress, you know you want the dress to, sit on your hip and your butt correctly. So it's not going to be tight, but it should just fit properly. You don't want to have an extra hip sticking out on a tailored dress. So the length of the skirt now is 26 inches, and I measured from the waist here. Let me bring it down a little. So this is it, 26 inches down to the hemline. So that will give us the length of our dress, and that is just about here. And as you can see, I marked it, so it's there. And I added 2 inches seam allowance. The hip measurement is 41, as I said. So the same thing you did on the hip, you're now going to do it on the hemline, and you're going to mark that. You are now going to connect from the hip measurement, from the waist to the hip to the hemline. And here I have the line drawn. Okay, the line is drawn there. I've also added 1 inch seam allowance. So I've added the seam allowance and bring it straight down to the hemline. Now I finished with the front of the dress. Because it's now a dress, what I had to do is to make seam allowance for the zipper at the back here, and I've made this can be 1 inch, and that is from the top to the bottom of the skirt, all right, to the hemline. So I've made it 1 inch. Now if you are making just a split, and I have a little diagram here, I want to do a little demonstration for you. If you're making just a split, meaning the back of the dress is just going to have a split. So this is the front, and you're going to place it like this. So consider it sewn, stitch at the back, the zipper is in. If you are going to make just a split like this at the back, so the opening is there at the back of the skirt, the dress, 1 inch is good enough. If you're going to make more of a pleat, where you have an overlap of the bottom here, so that when you walk, there's a pleat there, you see that pleat at the back there, then it's best to make the allowance at the back wider than 1 inch. So you want to go up to maybe 2 or 2.5 inches at the back, at the center back here. So let me show you. So this is the allowance. So you want to make it a little wider if you're going to make a pleat at the bottom of the dress here at the back. All right. Okay, so now, because we're using the bodice now to make a full dress, I guess you might be tired of seeing this green. Well, what happened is, when I decided that I was getting off YouTube, I just pack up all the fabrics that were there, all the remnants that were there, and I just dispose of them. Didn't know I would be back on YouTube. So now I'm here, I'm struggling to find fabric to work with. So I have this piece of green, so I'll be using it for a while. So now that we have turned the back, so we have a round neckline here for the front. All right, so previously that was what we had for the front. And the width of the neck is 2.5. So 2.5 on a folded fabric will give you 5 inches for the back and 3 inches to the front here, 3 and 3, so maybe that will be probably 6 and 5, 11 inches. Now this is going to be a very high neckline. Some people want a neckline that is lower than that. How do you do that? How do you change the neckline? You ask the person how deep they want it and how wide they want it. So wherever they place their finger, if you're not the one making the decision on the neckline for them, then you go into the shoulder a little, and you can decide, as I said, they'll show you where they want it, and you mark that. So we're going to make the neckline a little wider. If it's a round neckline, you still can come down a little deeper, depending on where the person show you that they want it. And this is what I have here. Okay, so that's a round neckline. You can also change this to any neckline you want. So I'm going to do a V shape and a square neckline. So again, whatever the person says, how wide, how deep they want it, they will put their finger there and you will mark it. So what I will do, so we're now away from the regular neckline which was there, we're out a little bit there, and we want now a square neckline. So say for instance they want it maybe 6 inches deep. Let's make it 6 inches deep. 6 inches deep would be right here by, say, 6 inches wide. All right, so we'll use 6 by 6. So that is what you'll get. So you will cut that out, and this represents that. So we have changed the neckline here, and remember, all you do, you just cut on one side and it reflects on the other side. One of my students thought she had to turn it over and do this side. No, whatever you do to the right reflects on the left, and vice versa. So that is how you change the neckline. We're now going to do the V neckline. So I have marked off the V neckline to 7 inches. So it has a point, as you can see, it's like a V shape. All right, so that is what, and this is what it's looking like, the V neckline. So please remember, you can change the neckline from the basic neckline to anything else that you want. Okay, so another change that will be made now is to the back of the garment, and the front of the garment, the neckline now decide on the difference at the back. So what you want, so now we have it right here. Okay, I will just make a snitch here. Now the back of the neckline with a dress like this isn't very low. You want to stay within probably 1.5 to 1 inch in depth, just the same. So you just mark it, okay, just like that. So it is still there, 1.5 inch by 3.5 inch. Remember, it is now the front neckline that determines the back neckline. And remember, before we spoke about taking out that 1/2 inch out of the front of the arm. So there it is, and this is just because there's a little extra bulk inside here, bulk fabric. So that is how you do that. So that is how the bodice pattern can be changed into any style. And here we have a full dress. You will now add your zipper at the back here, straight down to the hemline. Another thing I'm going to show you to do is to cut the facing for the neckline, and to put in the show you how to put in the zipper. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and please remember to like, share, and subscribe.